oh, maybe the newer teams might be struggling with this. It is a worldwide phenomenon. Reliability is just the number one thing you need.
You see it with all your teams. All right, here we go, chat. We're in that loading screen. The ref system is starting up. Everyone cross your fingers, rub your hands together, think something nice as we head straight into our match. In 3, 2, 1, game start. Let's go. All right, both teams fielding a sentry. They've got shields and invulnerability here at the beginning. We go switching over to the middle of the map. You can see them using these barricades very well. None of the robots actually able to hit each other yet because of their smart positioning. Look at that. Blue 3 is going around the corner. Blue 3 on red 4. UW dealing some early damage onto NYU.
That's a lot of damage. That red standard 4 is almost gone.
Here we go.
One more shot's going to take him out, and
Look at that
does.
UW hero sneaky coming around the other side of the barricade. They've done a classic split. Blue 3 from UW able to get that first blood, and now they will be able to double team that red 3, and they knock him out. They get the ace. This is what I predicted in the meta discussion as being the strategy for those top tier teams. Check it out from that first person view. You can see, I believe we're in the pilots of NYU right now as they try to defend their sentry, which has taken half of its health down in damage.
And that sentry's health is in the top left corner. You can watch that, and here you go. That's what the screen looks like in the bottom right of what happens whenever you die and you're reviving, waiting for that time for your robot to turn back on.
Those shots are so long, Matt. Look at this. The blue standard 3 from UW is hitting the sentry from half a court away.
That is more than half court.
Very difficult to defend against.
That is way more than half
court.
Call
him Steph Curry and give him a jersey. He's hitting all of them. Oh my goodness.
Very consistently too. That sentry's health is falling down to
100 health left. They're in the double digits. That's 9 shots left, 2 shots left. It's 1 hit. The sentry is officially 1 hit. But they can't make it. They're like a 10-year-old playing Fortnite. They're always 1 hit and nothing more. What the heck?
10 health left on that sentry. That's going to put UW in a very favorable position.
We are now in the seats. Oh. They're really close. 10 health left on that sentry. Both the hero and the standard getting in position. NYU standing their own and positioning well, but I don't believe their robots are firing much, if at all. Not a lot of damage coming across. Oh, my word.
And here comes the base damage. I think this might be the first base kill of today.
There's no way this goes longer than 3 minutes.
UW's hero is taking huge shots at the base. As we said, it takes very little time if you can get that hero in.
The stability in that spin to win is gorgeous. The hero from UW able to just spin in place and deal damage as needed. Now, chat, you might see them run the clock. This is not disrespect. A lot of teams in these early matches, when they have the win secured, will spend the rest of the time driving around, letting their drivers get some practice in the field with maneuverability. And with 200 health left on NYU's base, there's no way that UW could throw so hard as to lose this match.
Well, they would need to go... NYU would need to go all the way through the sentry and all the way pretty much through their base, and UW could just backdoor them at any time where they would just stroll up to the base that is defenseless without that sentry and just hit it one more time with the hero. But it looks like they're just going to keep doing their systems running. As
chat, can we get some hype in the chat?
Right.
I know we had a break. Get back on your computers. Let's hear some ARUWs for the Huskies as UW takes the first big dub of the day. Here it is.
Looks like they're going to be trying out their hero onto their infantry.
Those hero shots are only counting as standard because they're from so far away. The damage is coming across at 10 per shot. Now, you might not think that's a big deal, but as was discussed earlier by Isaac, the hero shots are so expensive that it's just not worth the gold to use those shots for 10 points apiece.
Well, whenever you can use them for 100, which is what they hit on normal robots, if they register as that 42mm, then it is pretty worth it because that is only 3 to 4 shots to knock out those robots. Especially
NYU standard 3, I feel like did trade a little bit there. I think he did a little bit of damage to both of the robots on the UW side before dying in front of his base.
Really nice being able to see a good view of the first-person aspect of this game, not just the third person that we're able to see. Really lets you get into the mind of the players and see what their heads-up display looks like.
Ross is excited to see a base kill, but cannot bring himself to support UW in this match. Well, Ross, you're believing in some Cinderella story here if you think NYU is going to be able to pull this back. 125 damage left. Props to them for keeping up the effort, though. Every time their robots revive, they dive in looking for that YOLO 1v5, 1v9 attempt. Great spirit from both teams
and
as they move forward.
Be a loss for them currently, they're still able to get out there and they're still able to practice just as well as UW is.
And it does appear that NYU was able to deal a little bit of damage to the UW sentry. I believe 600 is full health, and it appears that the sentry health of the University of Washington is at 590. Look at that. NYU staying alive for a little bit here. 1v2, standard 3, able to deal some damage. before he's knocked out. Great job.
But that's still practice.
Yep.
That is
Both
still
teams
practice for
appreciate
both
it.
teams. Yes.
UW is very appreciative that they have someone to practice against who can drive and shoot. NYU is appreciative that they get some field time and get practice for their lower bracket matches.
And that's going to be the end of the game with the
that schedule. We can kind of talk through chat what's happening next, but we're already right into the match. We didn't even get to see the ref system initialize because these are best of 2 rounds. So here goes UW versus NYU again.
Since everything was working, it makes it easy to start the next one.
Oh my goodness, look at the University of Washington go. We'll see if NYU can deal a little bit more damage this round. Here we go, the hero already right next to the base of NYU, uncontested. Oh no, it looks like one of NYU's robots is down. That's going to be a bummer for everyone involved.
Health, typically indicating a referee system error on the side of the Sentry.
All right, we're in the cockpit of UW. Oh my gosh! The projectiles from the University of Washington's Hero and Standard both hitting at the same time. The Hero on the base, the Standard at the robots. Just taking some test shots at that knocked out Sentry. Like I said, for practice. This is one of those early matches. They want to get those in because they're expecting to go far. Hopefully NYU will be able to sort out their problems with Standard 4 here pretty soon.
But given that it is their first showing at this event with all of their robots, they were here last year, NYU was, and they, I believe, also only had one as well. And so seeing them here with all 3,
it's great.
It's great, and it's
great.
Functional. The referee systems were working. They might be having a bit of an issue right now.
Red Standard 3 continuing to hold his own. Whoever that driver is, whoever that build team is, great job, guys. We love to see this sort of competition. Red Standard 3 not afraid to stand up 1v2 versus the full-fledged might of UW, and he's doing a good job. He's dealing what he can, putting it out. Again, obviously this match is going to go the way of the University of Washington with 1 robot down. NYU not really looking for a crazy comeback story here in this best of 2. Oh
that
my word!
Rapid fire burst from that UW.
Really utilizing
Standard.
that projectile speed branch of the skill tree.
Yes.
Great job, great job.
That fire rate is very scary whenever they are as accurate as they are.
The
Also,
Hero
looking at
practicing
the,
getting those shots in on the base around another Standard.
Looking at the heads-up display, too, you're able to see how UW's able to customize theirs.
Look at this, look at this, look at the bottom
needs.
right-hand corner of your screen, chat. That was the University of Washington, I believe's Hero, taking shots at the base over one of the barricades. There's only a black cover on one side of that red base, allowing the Hero to shoot over the wall and land those while still in protection and out of the range of most sentries.
And that is where you have to have that tactic of having the infantry defending your base really come into play. Looks like they're nodding at the crowd, or as you can see in the right side of your screen.
As close as they can get to emotes.
Yeah. And it's really interesting looking at the difference in design of how they have their UI set up, their user interface. You can see the rectangle that's spinning, that's their base that's their chassis base. And then the turret is obviously the line sticking out of it. So they're able to see their orientation with the chassis as they're moving without having to look down or trying to guess, or use visual indicators, as we've seen some Chinese teams do with the little flags that stick up on the edge of their chassis.
That's right. 75 health remaining on the base. Sure, Jared, let's go ahead and take a look at the midfield. We'll get a little baby look at that base of the University of Washington. You can see their sentry above the base just sliding back and forth. Remember, this is the fully autonomous robot, so it's looking for enemy robots. The University of Washington has 2 independent turrets. You can see they're facing different directions so that they can see robots in any of 360 degrees. Once it sees an enemy robot, it will shoot back. Right now, the University of Washington is shooting their own sentry, so because of the computer vision learning, even though it's getting hurt, it will not fire back at its owner.
You can also see how it's dodging. After it gets hit, it responds by moving slightly faster and trying to evade those projectiles and make their path for the CV
a wonderful
lot less
idea
predictable.
from the University of Washington to test that evasion code here with their own robots where they can control and make sure they don't lose. Less than a minute left in this. I hesitate to call it a stomp. We do love NYU. They did great, but it's a stomp. Great job, University of Washington. Let's get some hype in the chat.
Looks like they're communicating. Oh, that's the first sentry kill we just saw, as one of those turrets picked up on the fact that Red Standard 3 was in the middle.
Oh my goodness. I'm not sure if that's legal or not. We'll have to let the refs decide. But once the standard from Red 3 got knocked out, UW pushed the carcass into the vision zone of the sentry so that when it auto-revives, it will be taken out by the sentry.
Well,
and then the sentry's just going to spawn kill every time.
It's a good way to test it out. Wow!
Oh my goodness! We're switching over so
barrels.
you can see. Oh, their sentry does have. It looks like it might have a malfunction though. What was it firing in a random
It was firing
direction
at both.
and
It froze at both. It was trying to target with both, not independently.
I do believe that it fired both barrels when only one was pointing at the standard. So they might be able to review that footage, look over it, see if they can make some changes in